Welcome back to the Bark and Bite. If you're new to the channel, my name is Brandon Baker of Black Dog Barbecue, and today I'm teaming back up with Charbroil Grills to show you how to build their Pro Series 4-burner gas grill. In addition to that, I'm going to talk through some of my favorite features about this grill as well, so let's check it out. But before we talk about my favorite features of the grill, I want to talk through the build. And first thing I want to cover is build time. This took me about 3 to 3.5 hours to put together, but I do want you to keep in mind that I was filming this, which is going to add at least 30 to 45 minutes to that process. Either way, I'd build in about 3 to 4 hours to make sure you have plenty of time, plus you want to make sure you have the right tools. I find that it's most beneficial for me at least to have a power tool with a drill bit and then multiple size screwdrivers. Having different size screwdrivers available is nice because there's different parts of the grill that are harder or easier to get into, and you want to make sure you have some short screwdrivers and long screwdrivers so you can handle any different spot that you might have to get into with a screwdriver. The other tool that I do find beneficial, although it's not an absolute must, is having a wrench on hand. The only time that I really use it is when I'm tightening up the wheels, but I've found that it helps lock those in better. Now with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build this grill from start to finish, and then I'll talk through all my favorite features. First thing I like to do is get all the parts out of the box and get all that trash put together, so I'm going to do that now. Directions are on top. You definitely do not want to lose these. They give you this nice little package with all the parts that you need, but definitely do not lose these because there are not extra screws. So if you lose any, you're going to wind up having to do without or run into the store to pick up some from either Home Depot or Lowe's so you can finish the project. Check out that griddle. Man, that's nice. Put that over here. The last thing in the box is the head of the grill, and honestly, I'd recommend getting 2 people to do this. It's gonna be safer that way, and it is what's recommended. That being said, I don't have help on hand today, so I'm gonna get this thing out and just set it to the side for now. All right. Okay, real quick, you might be wondering why I'm using the dolly. Honestly, this isn't very heavy, but the problem is the bottom of the box is not stapled. So if I were to lift up both sides, all that trash would fall out. So what I like to do, grab the dolly, just get everything together so I can roll this back up the hill and put it in the garage till I can deal with the trash. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Be right back. In case you're wondering, that process of unboxing everything, organizing it, and getting rid of all the trash took me about 30 minutes. So if you're building this grill at home too, just kind of keep that in mind as you're planning because you want to make sure you've got enough time for everything. Now it's finally time to get started. And step 1 is I'm going to build the base. We're going to start with the front wheels and then move to the back. You might find it useful to grab a wrench to twist this like I'm doing, just to make sure that it's nice and snug. And let's get that pin in. The base was very easy to put together. Now we're gonna work on the sides. You're gonna wanna use a longer screwdriver for this. Your power tool will not get in here unless you have an extension. Then you can make it work. This is another spot where you want a good old-fashioned screwdriver. The power tool just will not be able to get in here. I am just putting the screws for the middle shelf in, and essentially the shelf is just going to hook on to these screws over here so I'm not tightening them too much. All right, so what I'm noticing right now is the dimensions on this side shelf are really tight with both of these exterior arms right here. So you might have to push in pretty good over here to get this in and lined up with the screw that's supposed to hold it in place. Just something to keep in mind as you're going through this process. You're always going to find hiccups along the way whenever you're building anything, but worth noting. There we go. Now let's get this thing secured. All right, I just got the base put together with very few hiccups. So now I'm gonna move this out of the way and we're gonna get to the head of the grill so I can get that set up so we can put it on top here in a few minutes. Let's get this out of the way. I'm gonna leave those wrapped up and we'll deal with it in a little bit. All right, I was putting together a 2-burner commercial series gas grill from Charbroil a couple weeks ago. I struggled with this. This was honestly the most difficult part that I had in the build process, so I'm pointing it out here too. I know how to deal with it now, so it's a heck of a lot easier, but just know, you're gonna put these brackets in here. So I'll do it on this side so you can see a little bit better. And then you're gonna fold that over. But if you don't fold that over, that screw's not gonna hold in there. So you gotta put it in, flat like this, and then bend it. That way you'll be able to line up these holes on the back end side, screw one in over here, screw one in on the other, doing the exact same thing, and you'll be good to go. All right, next we're gonna get the head of the grill onto its base. So I'm gonna roll that over here, and we're gonna put this on top. Now, keep in mind, like I mentioned earlier, it's recommended to have 2 people for this stuff. This is pretty heavy, so if you have 2 people at the house or you can get a buddy to help, I'd recommend doing so. Again, it's just me today, so we're gonna make it work. So bear with me here for a second while I get this thing loaded up. All right. Make sure to watch your fingers in these corners. That would not feel good at all. There we go. Next step. I'm gonna tell you, you wanna pay close attention on this step when you're putting that handle in. I've dropped the screws for the handle before inside of this tin right here that kind of lines the inside of the grill. Not fun. You essentially have to take this apart, take the back apart, winds up being a 30-minute side project that you want nothing to do with. So make sure that you're paying close attention when you're putting these screws in, because this is one of the trickiest parts that you don't think about when putting together this grill. Now I won't be able to show the next step, but I want to talk you through it real quick. This piece right here is what hooks up to the nozzle. So we have to take out the screws that are currently in place there, right here and right here, because that's what's going to allow us to essentially push it back up through these holes right here, and then we'll use those same screws that I just took out to secure it back on top. So I'm going to show you guys that process from this side, but just so you know what to do and kind of what's going on, that's essentially what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to put in the burner, which again is going to be a little difficult to show, but I'm going to insert it down this way so that I can hook it up to that line that we just screwed in. Next we're going to add the other arm of the grill. I'm almost done putting together the grill. There's just a couple more steps that I got to knock out here. And the next one being, I'm going to hook up this power box. So I'm not going to be able to get the camera really far in here, but essentially what I've got to do is put all of the wires into this little box. And let me get that a little bit closer so you can see, but I'm going to hook up each one of these wires here, so that way we'll be able to ignite the grill. This goes through this little hole right here, then we screw it back on once we've got the battery inside. So I'm going to do that step now. They make a little clicking sound when the wires connect, which is nice so that you know you've got it in there securely. Next step. Okay, we pretty much have the whole grill put together, but I'm gonna talk about one thing that nobody ever talks about, and that's these dadgum stickers. So these can be a pain to get off. I'm just gonna tell you now, it doesn't matter if it's Char-Broil or whatever brand it might be. You gotta be careful with them, you gotta be patient, or else you're gonna wind up sitting here trying to scrape off sticker residue for a little bit, which is no fun, let me tell you. So you wanna do this slowly, make sure you get a good handle on it, and then just continue to make sure it's very tight so you get all the sticker off at one time. I'm gonna do my best to do that right now and try and show you the right way to do it. Just keep getting as close to the edge as you possibly can here. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to get all 4 of those off with no issues at all, but I did. And I can tell you one thing that certainly helps, so keep this in mind. If it is really cold outside, say around 30 degrees, it's gonna be significantly more difficult to take those stickers off. I don't know why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with the air temperature and the moisture, but I can tell you that I've had a lot more trouble in the past when it's been really cold outside, instead of a day like today, or in the 50, 60 degree range, and it just came off with no problem at all. So food for thought, just something to consider. Now we've got the grill built, so I want to talk through all those features that I promised I'd cover. First off, just like the commercial series grill that you might have seen me build a few weeks ago, the versatility is the #1 most important factor to me about this grill. And what I mean by versatility, in case you missed the last video, is with this grill right here, not only can you use it as a traditional gas grill, there's charcoal inserts if you want to cook with charcoal, as well as a griddle insert. The 3-in-1 capabilities that this grill provides makes it extremely efficient, and is why the Pro Series and the commercial series have been the workhorse grills that I've used the most over the past 2 to 3 years. The second major factor that I love about this grill is its amplifier technology. And if you've seen my videos before, you know I've talked about this on a number of occasions, but essentially that amplifier technology is brilliant. It's just a thin sheet of metal that goes underneath the grates, and what that does is it helps to evenly distribute heat across the entire grilling surface so there's no hot spots, but honestly, even better for me is the fact that it almost eliminates flare-ups. I have not had one flare up on my Pro Series or my Commercial Series grill, which have that amplifier technology, in the past 3 years since I've been using these grills. That's great for not only people who grill all the time, but also beginners as well. Anytime you can take away barriers like flare-ups, it just makes it that much more inviting to get outside and get on the grill. Now, the third benefit about this grill that I feel like a lot of people don't take enough advantage of is the fact that it has a side burner. I use that side burner all the time. I use it predominantly for sauces and sides. So anytime you see a glaze being made, or if you see something like a grits or a pasta being made, 9 times out of 10, I'm doing that outside and I'm doing it on the side burner. I find it super helpful to be able to do all that stuff outside so that I'm not making a mess in the kitchen and I can just clean up my workspace here and be good to go. Now, the fourth major benefit that I love about this grill, and honestly, they've upgraded this in the last few years, is the storage. Since the last Pro Series model that I had, they moved the storage for the griddle insert actually to the outside of the grill underneath the side burner. Honestly, I kind of like that because it was really difficult to get the griddle insert inside of the grill the way it was on the previous model, so I think this is an added benefit for sure. The second aspect of the storage that's great is you can put the charcoal inserts inside of the grill, so everything is nice, neat, and compact. Another upgrade that they've made to the storage of this grill since the last model that I had is there's now more storage for you to put supplies. In the previous model, that shelf didn't exist. It's really nice to be able to put things like tools and towels down there so that's out of the way of the cooking space, so everything just feels less cluttered. And with that, we've covered the build from start to finish, as well as my favorite features about this grill. If you found this video beneficial, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know I've got a lot of cooks coming up over the course of the next year using this grill, so make sure to tune back in if you're interested to see some of those cooks, some of those recipes we've got coming up, as well as more how-to videos. But until next time, happy grilling.